Books that I read over the summer that you need to tap in with. Let's go. I also forgot to mention how all of the books I mentioned, they're all physical books that I read. Now, I'm not against reading audiobooks, but for me personally, I prefer to read physical books because I could focus much more better when I'm reading a physical book rather than an audiobook. You know what I'm saying? The first book is going to be this book called Nevertheless We Persisted. This book is like very, very underrated because it gives like a handful of different stories of how people persisted in their own meaningful way, whether if it was not fitting in with the crowd, like whether if it was trying to find out who they truly were. Like all of the individuals in this book had their own way of persisting and becoming literally their best version. And honestly, I love this book because it's honestly mostly about trying to find out what's best for you and not what's best for others. You know what I'm saying? Like what's best for you, like what you genuinely want for yourself, and not what others genuinely want for you. Because you have to understand, at the end of the day, the only person that knows what's best for you is you. So I'd honestly give this book like a good 9 out of 10. I love this book. It's underrated as hell. Go check it out. Second book is going to be The 48 Laws of Power. Now, honestly, this is a very overrated book in my opinion because it's a book that mostly everybody knows about. You know what I'm saying? But bro, it has a lot of gems. All right, like a lot of gems. There are just so many gems in that book that you could use to apply to your own life. For example, now I might be mistaken, but I think it's like Law 42, where it states that you shouldn't live in the shadow of your parents, but live in the shadow of yourself and create your own footsteps. Because it states something like how you cannot be greater than the ones before you if you're following them in their exact footsteps. You just can't. In order to be greater than them and in order to surpass them, you need to create your own footsteps, your own path, your own shadow. The third book I would recommend that I read over the summer. Now I'm gonna be real, I have not finished this book, but bro, it is so good. It's called The Monk That Sold His Ferrari. Now I really love this book because it talks about how in order to truly create a new life for yourself, you're gonna have to create and cut off old things from your old life, your old world. I don't want to spoil it too much, but it essentially goes in depth on how like you cannot create a new life for yourself if you're still doing the things of your old life, your old world. Like in order to truly create a new life for yourself, you're gonna have to cut off the things from your old life, your old world, whether if it's old habits, old pleasures, like whatever the case may be. Like if you're still living in your old world, you'll never be able to truly manifest your new world. Like this is what this book is about. I'd give this book, even though I haven't finished it, I'm gonna keep it real over rich. I'm gonna give this book like a solid 9 out of 10 because it's valid. You know what I'm saying? Now the fourth book that I would recommend is Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Dr. Joe Dispenza. All right, like this book, it has way too many gems in it for it not to be talked about. All right, I'm gonna keep it so real, bro. Like this book, like it takes some real discipline to finish, bro, because it's a really long book, it's a really thick book, but it also has a lot of gems in it, so it's definitely worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like it essentially goes in depth on how in order to change your external life, you need to change your internal life. And that's the thing I love about Dr. Joe Dispenza. Like he has like scientific backed research, you know, like scientists that are all proving how his methods are working. You know what I'm saying? Like he like pretty much goes in detail in that book on how to change your external life, your external situations, you need to change your internal situations, because what you got to understand is the internal is the effect and the external is the cause. That's essentially what that book is trying to teach you. It's teaching you that in order to truly change your life, you need to change your internal life before you change your external life. I'm gonna keep it so real. I'm still finishing this book. Like I have not finished it, but like from what I've seen so far, it is just an amazing book. Like all books that I've read, I'm giving to you, it's like they're all 9 out of 10s. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really have a specific favorite, but this one, like, tap in with it. You know what I'm saying? And the last book that I'm finna recommend in this video is this book called Melanin Impact. Now this book, it pretty much is essentially just on melanin, right? How melanin works, like where melanin is in your body, like how to know how much melanin an individual has in their body. Like it is essentially just like melanin, like really like informing you of melanin, where it comes from, how you get it, and stuff like that, and the different stages of melanin and things of that nature. I ain't gonna lie, bro, this was like a very smooth book I got last year. Not this summer, but I got it last year, but I finished it because, and that's the reason why I'm saying it was a smooth book. Like it was a nice, straight to the simple point book that was informative about melanin and how it works, and I honestly liked it. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. You know what I'm saying? Like it informed me of like my melanin, like the different stages of melanin, and you know what I'm saying. It was a pretty simple book, but in general, I loved all of these books. Like, I don't dislike one more than the other, or I don't even like one more than the other. Like, I like them all the same. I love them all the same because, like, all of them like taught me something. Like, all of them gave me something to learn. Whether if it was like trying to expand my perspective on life, whether if it was trying to teach me something, like something that I could use to apply to my own life and change my own life. Like they were all good books, you know what I'm saying? And let me know if I missed any books down below in the comments. But I'm gonna end the video off that, and that's King Wallace, and I'm out.